All right, you guys, time to rise and thrive. I'm Tricia Turner. This is Rise and Thrive, coming to you live every Monday, Central Standard Time around 12-ish. Today, I have two amazing women with me. Purpose of Rise and Thrive is to bring positivity to your life, whether it be in faith, family, finances, or fitness. Those are the four main pillars of my life that are most important to me. And today, I have the amazing Amy and Alicia with me, and we're going to talk about a little bit of all of that stuff because these women are powerhouses. They're dear friends of mine. We're growing something beautiful together. Before we jump into all that, though, I want you guys to meet them in case you don't know them. Alicia, for everyone paying attention to the program, give us a little bit of a backstory, what you do for a living, how long you've been doing it, and where you are.
Well, my name is Alicia Trevino. I'm based out of Dallas, Texas. I've been a realtor for 35 years now, and I have been an independent broker. I started out with Century 21, went to Global Banker. I've done the gamut of everything. I started out with first-time home buyers. Then when things kind of went crazy, we did REO. I was one of the top realtors for all of REO. I've closed over 13,000 homes in my life. I was one of the first people to start a team, the team concept in North Texas. And so I have done high-rise sales where I moved to Uptown, which is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in all of Dallas, lived there. I did that for about 10 years. And then I decided I would break the whole traditional real estate type of environment company and move over to EXP, which was my first experience with a rev share company. But when Realty of America came, I knew that it was my opportunity to join forces at the very beginning of something spectacular. Obviously, it was proven to be true. And so I am here to just give opportunity to other women and other men in general, other realtors, to show them that there is a better way to sell real estate, earn money without working every single weekend, which I have accomplished. And I've just joined forces with Eddie and Mark, who I've known forever, over 20 years. And then, I didn't get a chance to know you ladies, but now I feel like you're my sisters because of, what we're about to talk about, which is Women of ROA, which I've never been a part of a movement of women who has inspired me, who is like me, and who I feel like so connected to. So that's who I am, guys.
I love that. How about y'all just wrote some of that down? Because even if you're a brand new agent and you're like, I could never sell 13,000 homes. Who says? Who says? Alicia's no different than any of you guys. She's just the one that's willing to do the work, to put in the time, and is laser focused on what she wants to build. So I hope you're going to get ready to pay attention to everything she has to say, because clearly she knows what she's doing. Amy, reintroduce yourself for those that don't know who you are, new people that have been jumping on.
Good afternoon, ladies. And I'm the lucky one because I've been able to travel the world with these two beauties. So I'm Amy Lampman. I'm a former school teacher. And with the challenge from my husband, I got into real estate in 2014. So it's 12 years now, time to renew my CE. Mm-hmm. And I jumped in, accidentally got involved in investing, and have never stopped. I'm a serial entrepreneur. We own multiple companies, and I love a challenge. When the market pivots, I pivot. I love to use my teaching skills to encourage others to widen their perception of what true reality is, because sometimes I think people see the news and they think it's reality, and I'm like, no, reality is actually what you make it, right? Market shifts, we shift. And so Tricia's been with me through several shifts and seen me pivot. I'm a true believer in open up your mind to new opportunities and manifest what you dream of and create a life by design. So I'm an investor. I'm now a luxury home builder and a developer.
Love that. And I'm just going to let you know, I know both of them personally. So it's so cool to be doing life with them, because in the real estate space, like we were talking about before we came on the air, like we don't have any pre-planned days. Very few. Like we have no idea a lot of times what tomorrow brings. A lot of them are new opportunities. We're like, holy crap, I didn't see that one coming. But yes, we'll do that. That brings me to what I want to talk to you guys about today. So we were all actually with EXP and in different little groups there, because that's just how it goes when you have big companies, groups form, and you find your people that you run with. And then when Realty of America came along, which isn't even 2 years now, it will be 2 years in September. I first heard of it through a conversation that was overheard in Houston. I was like, what? What is this? And I had heard that Mark Demas was opening a rev share company. I was like, what? I know Mark. I have to know more of this. So I reach out to Mark and have this conversation. Right as all that was happening, I see Alicia go on and she says that she just left EXP and she went to Realty of America. I'm like, what? I remember when Alicia came to EXP because we had alignment in some of our people that we ran with. And I was like, oh, holy crap. So I reached out to Alicia and I was like, is this true? Why did you leave EXP? What are you doing? Tell me more. And I told her I had just heard of it and I already scheduled a call with Mark. This is crazy. Then I went to Amy, who was with me at Real. We were together at Real and we had only been at Real for a short time. And I told Amy, are you sitting down and I had this fear. I'm like, Amy's going to kill me because we promised we were going to build this together and this is what we're doing. And it's only been a few months. And I'm going to be like, we got to leave. We got to go because this is a new opportunity. And we know that we always want to be on the ground floor of building something beautiful, because if you can start at the beginning and make things beautiful, you have better chances of succeeding for the company and for everybody. And so Amy was like, I'm in after conversation. And it didn't even take that long of a conversation. Like she was like, yes, I believe. She believes in me and she believes in the vision. And then I don't even remember how it transpired. Maybe y'all can fill in the blanks, but somehow we all got asked to help form Women of ROA. And we all said, okay, we don't even know what that looks like because none of us have led a women organization. Help me with you guys. And either one of you speak for, like, you remember like how that even happened and what were we thinking?
I remember that Eddie handpicked. So the big story behind it is, the men were very, very active in Realty of America, and it felt like a men's club, and there was no representation of women. So one of the women of ROA went to him and said, what's going on here, guys? And she got with Claudia and said, we've got to make this Pamela. It's Pamela Valencia, who is very outspoken, but she was just like, okay, something's got to give. And so they came up with the vision of we need to have something that feels like the men's club, but a women's version. And so, and then Eddie, they said, well, who do you think would be great at this? And literally one thing that Eddie's really good at is picking the right leaders to form an organization, kind of like what he did with Realty of America when it was born. It's like, who's going to be the right leadership in order to inspire other people? And so, that's where he felt like he needed to pivot and give both sides equal opportunities to shine, right, within their own right. And as we know, men and women, we are different, men are from Mars and women are from Venus.
Yeah.
And we needed that. But that was the most magical moment, I think, of my career, is finding all of you guys has been a life changer for me.
Do you remember, Amy, where it all started?
The Women of ROA?
Yeah.
I remember I got a phone call from you, and Eddie was like, I'm looking for, some of the top leaders in each market area. So somebody from Dallas, from Houston, and then we were on the list, and you said, well, one of the commitments is we're going to go on a trip, and we're going to go on a trip. I'm frozen?
No, you're not. You did.
Which I'm alive. We were going to go on a trip to Costa Rica, and the commitment was you're going on a trip, and it's your own dime, and it's your own time, and make of it what you will. And I was like, I'm in. So we got on a plane, and that was the first time, Alicia, I ever met you.
It was. I'd spoken to Tricia once before.
Yes.
But when you were thinking about joining ROA, but I'd never met Amy, and I'd never met pretty much almost all the other women.
No.
Except for Pamela. Pamela and I have been very good friends. And so can you believe that? Like we all are cut from the same cloth.
And what's crazy, y'all, is that y'all, it was like super fast paced too. Like thinking back on it, all of a sudden and Amy and I travel a lot, but we found ourselves going to Costa Rica, and we got off this plane. Amy, I bet you remember this. And neither one of us speak Spanish. And so we get off this plane in a country where most people don't speak English. And we were trying to find a ride. There was supposed to be a driver there to pick us up. And we're walking around clueless, like no one speaks our language.
A lot of men after that get in their cars, and I was like, Tricia, we got to stay together.
Yes. And Amy's like, no, we're not getting in that car. No, we're not riding. And we were, oh my gosh. And then we ended up together. We had an Airbnb. Remember, we were all together, and that's where we sat down. We were there. It was 3 or 4 days. Remember?
3 days.
Mm-hmm.
3 days, and that's where we sat down, and we decided, what is Women of ROA? Like, this is a commitment. What is this going to look like? This is a brand new real estate company, because a lot of companies don't even form organizations or groups like this until like much later, when they have, a lot more people. We were so early to adopt this, and like, what is the vision, and what are we trying to accomplish? And then where do we go from here? And we were all strangers for the most part. We didn't know each other that well. And so
I think one thing that really helped us bond was that 2-hour bus ride where everybody got to share their story.
Yes.
And you got to hear, the hardships, the good times, the bad times. And we really got to know each other on a deep level. And then we're put in a house together. I only knew you, Tricia. You were the only person I knew. It was 13 women that were there. So 11 strangers plus you.
Yeah.
And we really got to know each other on a deep level. And I think what we realized is that women are resilient. Women, we all have our story, right? We've all been through really tough times, whether we grew up with nothing, whether we, came from a different country and didn't speak the language, was some of the stories. But we all had the struggle. But we all are leaders, and we're like fighters. Like, we're not going to give up. And we had that in common. And I think that that's what bonded. Like me, Pamela, she's from California. I would have never met her. Right. Mm-hmm. And then, there's so many people, Asa from Nevada, and then Sarah, and just all the different ladies. I think that going to that deeper level and actually bonding created a leadership group nationwide that we can come together, even if we only see each other a couple times a year, and we can create beautiful ideas. We can create cultural events. We can create community ideas and ways to help other women bond. Because a lot of times in this industry, it can be very lonely, and you can feel pitted against each other, right? Yep. But I know the three of us, we come from a mindset of feast, never famine. There's always plenty to go around. A heart of, a servant heart of leadership. So always wanting to give back and pour into others. And then for me, I like to show people how to create leverage.
How to grow. What's crazy is that when you just said, like, here we came together on this bus trip, and then we were thrown together in a house. That's kind of like a virtual. We should have had a videographer with us, because that's what you see a lot of these shows, how they're formed. Then you see them, spend days together in a house, and how does it all come together? We're going to have to do that on the next one. What's crazy? And for you guys that are paying attention to this, when we formed the Women of ROA, like Amy said, there was 13. So there's 13 founding members. But when we decided that, it's like, okay, well, where do we go from here? And then we looked at regions, because the three of us are in Texas, and what constitutes a region, and then how many people do we want in that region, and then what states, you have to reverse engineer it. And then how do we go into cities, and then into chapters? And because the vision is to grow the greatest real estate company in America, which is massive, which is huge. And then if we're on like the ground floor level of this, building it, people don't realize there's a lot. Plus, we're all still we run businesses, multiple businesses, and we sell houses. So we have a lot going on. We don't just sit back and try to figure out, how do we build Women of ROA? Like, this is in addition, and it's not a paid thing. This is in addition to what we already do on a day-to-day basis. I think the struggle, and Amy said it, is that number one, there's a lot of egos out there in our industry, a whole lot. And a lot of people are prideful and they're like, I want to do it my way. I don't want to do it your way. I don't want to come together. And if you watch them, like, it's lonely at the top. They end up just doing life alone. And we're blessed, wildly blessed, that we have a different mindset. We believe that we're better together. And when you win, we all win. And we want to share that with the world. And we're here in Houston. Amy and I are here in Houston, and we've been friends for years. And now we are not only dear friends, deep friends, but we're business partners. We grow together, and we love Alicia like a sister. And she's in Dallas, which is just right down the street from us. And we're like, you know what? Why are you there in Dallas and we're here in Houston? Why are we doing things on a different wavelength? We need to be doing these things together, because there's women out there that are seeking community and seeking somebody to come partner with and be friends with. And Alicia's there in the whole Dallas area and is needing people to band arms with her. Tell everybody where you are, Alicia, in the Dallas, because Dallas is huge.
Dallas proper, we have downtown Dallas. It's Dallas proper. And so I am east 20 minutes in a town called Sunnyvale. It's truly a town, but it's like almost country-esque, but close to the city. So I have all the conveniences. And on the other side of Sunnyvale is Rockwall, which is a lake community. So I am so conveniently located to Dallas proper. So, and pretty much everyone knows DFW. So, but DFW stands for Dallas Fort Worth, and they are an hour and a half from each other. So,
which is crazy.
It's really crazy. Our suburbs are very far apart from each other. So it is very hard to say even North Dallas from Dallas proper is 45 minutes away, and it's still Dallas County. So it encompasses a very huge space of real estate. Everything is bigger in Texas, guys. So
it is.
I feel like Houston might be a little bit more centered. I'm not sure because I'm not that familiar with the landscape, but I think you guys are like 30 minutes away from each other, right?
No, we're an hour.
Yeah.
You're an hour. So you're very similar to what we have here. I do want to go back to the Women of ROA because I want to make it very clear that the Women of ROA, the youngest person on the group was 26 or 27 at the time. So it spanned from 26 all the way to 62. And even though that span was so wide, and even in experience, number of years you've been in the business, all of that, we still had similar stories. The struggle was real. I mean, the youngest person had been through the same type of struggle that the oldest person in the group had been through. There was no different, the baseline was the same. And I think that is where we bonded the most, is that doesn't matter how old you are, that women have a different, there's something different. We're not like men that we can go and have a career and everyone's like, oh, that's wonderful. You have a career because you have motherhood that you have to deal with, and family that you have to take care of. Unlike where a man can go out and be very successful and nobody says, what about your kids?
Yeah.
Well, who's going to pick them up from school? Who's going to make sure that everybody gets fed? That responsibility doesn't fall on a man like it does a woman.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that has not changed over the lifespan, where women were homemakers and men provided. We don't live in an economy that allows that to happen anymore, And so I think that that's something that we've all bonded together on, is the mindset of, why is it not fair that women can succeed and not be considered as, biatches,
Yes.
for wanting to be successful, for having an opinion, or for doing an amazing amount of, or being incredibly successful. It always comes with, well, what about your children? Or what about, where are they now? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to consider, I think I've inspired my kids in a different way. I like that some of us are single and some of us are married and some of us, are in complicated relationships, but all of that is, there is a difference,
There is. And it's what brings us all together.
Loved, how we all bonded over that, that we are highly successful, smart, intelligent, entrepreneurs. And that one baseline was the one baseline that just like glued us together as sisters. And I think there's a lot of women out there feeling alone, that they don't have anything or anyone that thinks like them, but there's a lot of us out there. And so the sisterhood of what Women of ROA does for us, it allows us to feel like we are normal.
Yes.
We're not the exception. We are the new rule, right? That you can have it all. And we, just like a man can, have a bond with their children, because they're highly successful, so can we. We just do it in a different way.
Well, and I think too, like when you look at the stats that are coming in right now, which are just crazy with sales production, we're at another year where we're going to have a lower sales volume count than we've had before. So it'll be 4 years now of a different kind of life. And you now are looking at stats where 84% of real estate agents haven't sold a single home this year. That's staggering. That is freaking staggering. That's worse than we've ever seen in the history of real estate. And so if 84%, if this is true, and 84% aren't selling homes, a lot of the real estate industry makeup is women. How can we help them? Because there's a lot of women out there. I'm a single mom. I have financially taken care of my kids their entire lives by the means of real estate. And so I don't have that partner at home that has always had a steady income. I never have. So for me, I speak and come from contribution where if I can do it, so can you. And there's moms out there that have littles that are in unhappily marriages or whatever, and are afraid that they can't do it on their own and they don't know where to go. And there's very few people, I believe, like us that are willing to share, and not just share, but like, I'll help you. What do you need? And I think we need to do better at being more vocal about what we do and what we offer.
Yeah, we have a woman's heart. We have a woman's heart that wants to share and love and take care of and rise someone up. And I think people just don't believe it because it doesn't happen very often. I mean, I'll be honest. There was, when I worked at big box companies, nobody wanted to help me. Nobody said, "Let me show you how to do this." They're like, "Get away from me, kid."
Yes.
And I hear that a lot. And probably one of the biggest things is, well, how can you do this if you don't have an office? I tell you what, I am way more productive. I sold my office because nobody was coming in. When I sold the office, y'all haven't heard this story. When I sold the office, I'm like, I understand why nobody wanted to come in. This is so much easier, like working from home and having everything at your fingertips and being able to zoom in with someone, picking, like, I don't waste time, running this big overhead. I think so many small brokerages don't realize the amount of money it takes to run a small brokerage. And why would you do it? Why would you continue to do it the old way and not do it the new way? Because I tell you what, I see some pretty incredible 25-year-olds, and they don't need an office. They need this. That's it. This is all you need. And they are so easy to mold and help because they understand the systems that we've provided. And so, the other day I was like, ouch. Someone's like, oh, but you're so old. I'm like, ouch. You're killing me, Smalls. Because I'm like, yes, I may not be as fast as you on technology and social media. But let me tell you, if you want to learn how to sell some real estate, I know how to show you how to sell some real estate. And so do a few, because you need the foundation. And that is what I'm trying to bring with joining forces with women, because we do have more complicated lives, right? It is what it is. There's no way to shy around it. It is a double standard, and that's okay. I'm up for the challenge. We're the ones who have babies. We know how to do stuff.
We do, and we know how to multitask.
We know how to multitask. And now with what ROA has brought to the table, I don't have to work every weekend, like I said. Now we do have rev share. Let us show you how that works. Let us open your mind. I mean, and I was one of them who thought my independent brokerage why would I go from 100% and making all the rules to letting someone else tell me what to do? Let me tell you, the systems in place, the overhead that I've gotten rid of, the fact that I don't have to worry about anyone else, like it's made me so happy. You could see it in my face. Like I was stressed out. I look better than I've looked in a long time. I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm making more money than I've ever made.
That's super
So
cool.
it's what I want to share with other women. It's like, believe me, it is possible. And I was one who had a mindset. I mean, when you've been in business 25 years and all you knew was big box, this should be an easy decision for anyone who's new in the business.
It
It's
should
so
be.
What I always say, Alicia, is the company is paying me. So yes, we do have a cap, but if you are a leader and you actually, are willing to step up to the plate, and people do sign up for Realty of America under you, what happens is you pay the company a cap, but then they pay you back for being a leader. So
Oh my gosh,
I don't know
yeah.
about you, but I'm averaging almost 8,000 a month right now. So
Right.
in a month times 12, you can do the math on that. I believe that math is what, 96,000?
Mhm.
Is that right?
It's
12,
amazing.
96. So I pay them 14 and then they pay me 96. So let's do the math on that.
Yeah, I have been here 2 years and I have not paid 1 cent. It's paid me. I've always made more money in my rev share than I have ever put into it. So the math is pretty easy to math. Okay.
It is.
If you're making more than what you put in,
And then
obviously it's
what's
working.
I know, and what's exciting are these little magical things called RSUs. I mean, I don't even know how many I have, but they're stacking up. I'm just
Same.
stacking them. And when we go public, word on the street is we will go public by Q1 of 2028.
Mhm.
I have that straight from the big boss,
Yeah.
and he says we're pushing for that, time frame. He maybe give or take a quarter, but I don't know about the rest of you people that are at these. I'm at 100% broker. I only pay 300 a transaction. I'm like, but if something happens to you, if life happens, right? If you get pregnant and now you're a mom and now you have an infant, or your husband gets ill, or you get ill, or there's some type of life crisis, right? What happens on the 20th of your month? I don't know about the rest of them, but I get paid.
Right. I get paid, and that is a beautiful thing. And so I think people just don't realize, they think commission based, things are changing very rapidly in our business, and we need to figure out, like, those stock shares are going to be so important to me,
That's
and
me
they,
too,
and
Alicia.
yes,
It's a
I
retirement
mean,
plan.
I bought a house off my ones from EXP, so I know how it works.
I did too.
The amount that
lake house.
Yes, and the amount that I get here, I mean, people just don't realize, like, we have to educate women on building wealth, and that doesn't mean you have to work all the time to
No.
do that. You just have to join forces. There's lots of people in the world making a lot of money, right? They're not doing it by going to work every day and having 2 and 3 jobs. Like, our job is to inspire women so that they don't have to do that. When I was a young realtor, that opportunity did not exist. It did not exist.
No.
It is hard to wrap your brain around it. There's a reason why there's 3 strong women on here who said, I'm leaving, and that they were with another rev share company and saw the difference between, do I go into some place that's been established and I'm getting very few stock shares, or do I go somewhere where I can make more money than I can imagine in 1 year? Yeah, you may wait to 28, but you're making money by just doing what you do, your normal living. And so we've got to educate women on how to build wealth besides having to work all the time.
I would say, I'll add to that I think one of the coolest things is that none of us are going to ever retire. Why would you? I don't believe in anyone retiring.
Retire.
You're not retiring, girl. Like, what do you do? Rot?
I'm
Then,
not
like,
going to
no,
retire.
never. We're never going to. So if we believe that we can and will build the greatest real estate company in America, which will then go on until we die, like, this sets up our kids forever. Like, what mom or woman does not want to be part of that. And how do you not see that, because that is, like we talked about it when we were with Mark, like that's legacy, like leaving that's the why, and I think people have to get out of their heads that, and I'm not knocking marriage at all. I believe 100% in marriage, but there are times in life where you maybe are in a situation where you're not happily married and you feel stuck, and I don't believe you should ever live like that. I think God never wants us all to live our lives unhappily. And you got one shot here. So why would you not always be set up to be able to financially take care of yourself and your family? And there's no better way than what we're building, period.
And I think that women have to believe in other women. I mean, I guess we've been burned so much that when someone is really nice to you, and I've been told this, it's like, why are you trying to help me? Like, what do you want? I mean, I've got what I want. And thankfully so, that I live a very happy, fulfilled life. But I don't want to stop working. I love what I do. I love doing this. And I would love to help other women shortcut it, and we just have to believe in each other. And I think a lot of people don't. They don't trust because they have been burned. We've all been burned, we've been there. We've all been burned. But once you find true leaders, and we paid for that trip ourselves. Nobody sent us to Costa Rica.
No.
It was on our own dime.
Yep.
We paid for, the place that we stayed. I mean, it wasn't like we just trusted that this would be a good thing. And we wanted to be a part of something like that, because legacy is really important. What else do you have besides your name and what you built for others, and that it lived on, and that you opened the doors for other women? And it is hard to believe that, but I think the world is out there trying to be more loving now. And that people can see that. I mean, I just saw the World Cup and I was like, I'm in love with the world,
But you know what? Like, we're on the very beginning stages of building Women of ROA, and we need help. Like, that's the facts. Like, Amy and I are wildly blessed to be together here in Houston, and we've managed to, we have friends in high places that are leaders or coming up leaders, and they're like, we want to be part of what you guys are building. And you're right there in Dallas. And as a whole, like, we're in Texas. Texas is like a country in and of itself. There are so many people in Austin and San Antonio and little cities that we don't even know of in Texas that are probably going to watch this or hear this. And they're like, I want to be able to build that. And that's what we need to have, is the blueprint of Texas. Like, come, we'll go on the road. We're going to go on the road. We're going to do an event in Dallas for women and for real estate agents to help you grow. So not only how to do what we're doing, but if you're inspired to become part of us and join us and help us build this, come help us build this. We need it.
Yeah, we want leaders. And if you're not a leader, come and just join us and be a part of it. If leadership is not what you're at right now, I didn't always want to be in leadership, I mean, in the beginning, I was like, I need to feed my kids and I need to, build some money. I didn't have 2 cents to rub together, So my main goal was to become a top producing realtor. It wasn't even that. It was just put some food on the table. Yes. Don't lose my house.
Yes.
So, it's not just about leadership. It's about being a part of it. And then when you're ready to step up, you'll have someone to guide you and help you to do that. I love leadership. I love people who have that in their heart. The best people for this, Amy is a pure example. Teachers are wonderful at it. Yes. Anyone who's managed a business, anyone who's, led a large family, Yes. Those are all qualities that will, instead of like going, how's this going to help me? It's going to help you. Take what you love and what you're good at, and then become a leader, and then the money will come. Like, it would just, and I used to tell people, my agents, is don't count your commissions, don't add them up. It'll just start coming, as long as you're helping one family at a time, as long as you're helping one woman at a time. It'll all come together. And so I love your hearts, and I really appreciate it. And I've always wanted to be a part of Houston. I'm like, I want to be a part of Houston.
I think there's the secret power of collaboration that women don't realize is there. I think it's because, you grow up and you're in high school and you got bullies and you got the mean girls and the popular girls. I was never the popular girl in school ever. I was never the cheerleader. I didn't have any money. My family was broke. I literally got like 2 outfits to wear. That's why I'm now obsessed with dressing, because
Same.
And I'm like, such a good job of it, girl. You're always a fashion girl.
I'm like, but you know what? I created that for myself, and it's something that I want to empower other women. Like, let's show people the power in believing in yourself. Let's show people the power of sharing your secrets, because, all 3 of us, it doesn't matter what brokerage you're at. We could all have our own brokerages.
Yep.
We would be successful. I could be successful if I called my brokerage X.
Yes.
Right. And just do no name brokerage. Like, I would still build houses. I would still sell luxury. I would just be me. But I think the beauty is giving back to others and showing them the power of collaboration, the power of taking the day off and driving an hour into the scary part of Houston. My husband was like, why in the world are you in the scary part of Houston right now? And I said, because we're going to feed people, John. He knows my mission about feeding people. So there's so much strength in coming together for women. There's so much strength in actually learning people's stories and hearing resilience and going, wow, I'm not alone. I'm not, because I have the story of coming up and being raised by a single mom and struggling. She worked 3 jobs. I rarely saw her because she was always working. And so, I was one of those people where I was like, I'm going to find the love of my life, and then I'm going to create my own money, because I will never be dependent on a man. So I've been super, super fortunate that my husband was like, he's been with me. We've been together for over 30 years. And he's like, Amy, you don't have to work. And I say, you know what? I want to work. And I want to empower other women to work, because I think being independent and having my own business and my own bank accounts, and it creates this inner fire that I could feed 100 people tomorrow if I wanted to, right? Every time I walk into your charity, I'm that give another 1,000 lady. If you ask me, I'm writing $1,000 check, and it's not because I have to ask my husband, and it's not because I'm struggling. It's because I've manifested leverage, and I've built a community all based on helping others, but doing it alongside other people as well. It creates leverage. The minute that Tricia and I began to collaborate, my income grew, and I wasn't counting dollars. It was never about, in fact, most of the time, I don't even know how much I make. I really don't. I really have no idea. It just, my bank account just keeps growing. But the beautiful thing is, it's like, I'm never chasing the dollar. I'm chasing, how can I help more people? How can I create more solutions for problems? Right. And then sharing, like, some of the things I went through last week in real estate. I had 2 really bad realtors on the other sides of my transactions, and they were creating a disaster. I mean, it was the whole 2 transactions were like imploding, right? My clients were crying. And so as we're volunteering on Friday to feed people with Tricia and probably about 50 other Women of ROA down here in Houston, I was sharing that story. And then as I shared the story on our break, another woman shared her story. And I was like, look, we both go through these problems, but let's create solutions. I'm listening to your solution, hear mine, so maybe it can help you with one of your transactions, and problem solving, but doing it through collaboration creates community and then
success.
It's success and leverage.
Right. I think there's so many realtors out there, men and women, that go into real estate and then they fail. And it's not because they're not good enough. It's because they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what to ask, and there's very little help in these big companies. They do these great, like, here's how you market yourself. Who cares if you know how to market yourself if you don't know how to keep a deal together, right? And it does matter who you join forces with.
Yes.
Experience does make a difference. I can probably solve your problem in 2 minutes if you just call me and ask me, as opposed to sending you somewhere to figure this out.
Yeah.
So and knowing people at the top is
so funny. It's so funny that you say that, because when the deal was falling apart, I said, what is the problem? Just tell me the problem. And the woman goes, it's $4,000. And I was like, give me 1 hour
Mm-hmm.
and I will find you 4,000. I found $4,000 in 4 minutes.
Yeah, because you've solved that problem before, because you've done the deals before, because it's what what we've had to do in the past, right? And so I think it's super important to either align yourself with a very good mentor or to be on a team first,
Yeah.
and then go ahead. And ROA is the perfect jumping ground for that. Now, ROA for sure is for top producing agents.
Yep.
It is just the amount of top producing agents, we flourish here. I was floundering, not trying to figure out what was going on. And all I needed is for someone to pour a little love in me, and when, the Women of ROA came together, it was the love I needed. And, I was ready to retire. Like, that's how depressed I was. And Eddie, God bless his soul. Like, he was like, have you forgotten what a badass you are? And I'm like, apparently, because
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I felt so deflated
Yep.
because the world was changing and I didn't know which way to turn, right?
You were
And
by yourself.
within 12, yes, I was by myself. And within 12 months, my entire outlook, mindset, attitude, everything changed. And I owe a lot of that to that one weekend with all you ladies who and we didn't know what we were doing, but we were changing not only our lives, but the lives of so many other women. And so, yes, when you called me to talk about this, and I was like, let's do a platform. I am a little lonely bird out here in Dallas.
Yes.
I am looking for, other women who feel the same, who want to contribute, who have lots of knowledge, or even if you're brand new, even if you're that one shy realtor who doesn't want to, but you have a dream. My favorite thing, and I know I've told you guys this, it's like, if you can dream it, you can have it.
That's right.
God does not give you dreams you cannot accomplish.
Mm-mm.
And so, just because you haven't been able to get there, connect with someone who can show you the way. And, we inspire people when we talk to each other. Even this collective right now that we're all together, it reminded me, it's like, oh my gosh, why don't I call my sisters more often?
Yes.
Why
And you know
don't I
what?
do that?
Like with Amy and I, and again, like, we're very fortunate that we have each other, but we both have strengths and weaknesses, and neither one of us, we do a lot of events, but with growing something, there's so much behind the scenes. And like, we just did the Houston Food Bank, and well, who was the connector there? Well, it wasn't either one of us. It was Holly. It's like, we'll pull Holly in, like, okay. And as soon as she spoke up and we knew that she had the connection, we're like, okay, you're going to own this one, because we're not going to do it if you don't take the reins on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, Alicia, like, and for anyone listening to this, women, we need you guys that are great organizers of events, great organizers of social media. You have connections in the schools, you have connections in charity, you have connections in the churches. Like, all of those things are what will help us all grow together, because where two or three come together, there he is. Like, there's strength in numbers. It's biblical. It comes right out of the Bible. And there's no shame, and there's nothing wrong in saying, I'm not good at this, but I can bring this to the table, because that's how the puzzle gets put together,
Oh,
and
for
that's what we're
sure.
building, is a big
We all
puzzle.
have talent. We all have the
We
ability,
do.
like exactly what you said. I have no connections in that. Do I have the desire to do it? Absolutely.
Yes.
I snapshot it and said, how do I get started with this?
Mhm.
We can't do everything great, but together
No.
we can be great.
Yes, I love that. Alicia, and we did the Houston Food Bank. Don't y'all have like a Dallas food bank and stuff like
Oh,
that?
yeah. We have several food banks, so we can probably reach out and actually do that. And I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm all about, homelessness and helping, homeless folks. And, that's a big thing for me, because I think everybody deserves a home and everybody deserves to have a full tummy, so I am ready to do that here in Dallas. And I think it'd be awesome. I know we have other charities, and I know that we're also, I have a meeting later today with other women of ROA who are organizing leadership groups, here in in
Yeah.
Houston and in Dallas and all those places. So if anybody out there is watching, we need you. We need you to, if that is in your heart, if you have that type of heart, of giving heart, of teaching heart, or if you just want to be a top producer, like we're looking for women to join together, even if it's once a month, to help each other in each state, not just Texas, or in every city, basically.
Yes.
We need an organization where we can get together to join forces and talk business and talk success and talk wealth and give ourselves permission to be that person. It's not something we should be hiding. It's something we should be really rejoicing and working towards. And ever since I joined this organization, it has been eye-opening at the marvel of what these women can accomplish and what they do.
And I'll throw in there too, even for just women that feel lost and don't have a community, or like you said, a place to go or people to call. Like, we're here, we're looking, we're open armed, like for the right people that just want to be part of something beautiful and wonderful. Come reach out to any of us. Yeah. Amy, what's your thoughts?
I think there's just so much power in collaboration. And I think that knowing you have people cheering for you, like literally, Alicia, I was telling Tricia yesterday, I was like, I love Alicia's social media.
Oh, thanks.
Your Instagram comes in my feed every morning and I look forward to it because you're always so fabulous and just like woman boss. I'm like, I love it. Your social media brings me energy. And I think that if I were going to say, my thoughts, I would say, align yourself with people that, inspire you, that energize you, and that create community for you.
Yeah. I would say too, align yourself with people that you want to do life with, that you enjoy.
Life by design.
Yes.
Guys, I am a sucker for the underdog. I was such an underdog. I was born to a teenage mom. I lived in Mexico for 5 years. I did not grow up, with money. Once I came back to the States, I was born in the States, but I moved to Mexico when I was very young and was raised by my grandfather because, my mom had to stay here and she had to work, and she was a teenage mom. She was very young. And so, people they only see me who I am now, but they don't see the struggle that, to get here. And so, and it was a struggle and there was no one to help me. As a matter of fact, it was like the opposite of help. It was like, there was a lot of jealousy and envy and that type of thing. And I used to just sit there and go, why don't they like me? Like I work so hard. And I still think that happens today. And I just don't think we're a company built like that. We're a community of women who really, really rejoice each other and help each other out. And so I really people look at us and say that's not true. But I think we all had the same type of story.
For sure.
That we all struggled so much. And it's like, we love the underdogs. I think, we have a soft spot for them. So if you're someone out there struggling, whether you're in Houston or in our Dallas market, it's like, reach out to us. We're sincere when we're telling you we want you to grow. And bottom line, if you grow, we grow.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Like when you help someone, you get paid threefold, and it's just the power of how things work, regardless of what it is. The universe brings it back to you. And so, and it was hard to realize that, and you hear it all the time and you don't believe it, but it's the honest to goodness truth. And you have to believe that you don't do it for what you're going to get in return. Like that just comes, just kind of like real estate. Don't think about the money, just go out and help people and the money will come. It's like, it's the same thing, but we're helping women find their inner power, and we want you to grow. But we don't know what you're thinking, so you got to reach out to us.
You do.
Infinity.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, we'll leave it here. Yeah, we'll leave it with y'all today, women. You guys, women out there, number one, watch, because before we got on today, we talked about an event, a women-inspired event that we'll do in Dallas. So let us brainstorm a little bit about that. You'll see that launch very soon. Coming to a theater near you very soon in the Dallas area where Alicia is. So all y'all can come together, because we believe, of course, that we are better together and no one should be struggling. We don't want anybody to be in the 84% group that is not selling homes. This is how you feed your family. We want you to live and thrive and have an abundant life, not be in scarcity mode. Final thoughts I'll leave to you two. Amy, you go first.
Pay attention to who you're surrounding yourself with. I think it's so extremely powerful that you surround yourself with people that create positive mindset for you, people that you want to be like, that you want to be around, and that it does create that life by design. It's extremely powerful. If the people around you are failing, then you unfortunately can turn to a failure very easily. But if you surround yourself with winners, then you're rising to the level to be in that champion circle.
I love that. How about you, Alicia?
Yeah. Again, don't be afraid to reach out to someone that you think is untouchable. Like, we are sincere when we say that. I do see both of you and I'm like, wow, those are amazing women. And even someone who is successful still gets a little intimidated, by what other women did. But, you never know what's behind the story. So get to know them. And on a final note, I would love people to drop in the comments section, like, what they would like us to do, what they would like to see, what would help them out. And maybe that'll give us some categories to work on, and not just one time, but like on a regular basis. Because again, we're looking at it from an opposite side that we lived through a long time ago. And now we're wanting to know, what is your struggle today? Please let us know. Let us know what would benefit you or what you need. And we will try to put it together to try to feed you some of the info that you feel like you're missing.
I love it. You guys, for y'all that are paying attention, Women of ROA, we're growing it. We need your help. We're going to build the greatest real estate company in America and the greatest women's organization within that company. So we would love for y'all to reach out to us. Find us on all social media. Tune in every Monday at 12 Central Standard Time to catch another one of these episodes, and have an amazing day. Because remember, guys, we're better together.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye, y'all.
Bye.